Hi, everyone. Mike White here. Welcome to this week's blog post. Sure, many of you, if not all of you, were already aware that yesterday was a pretty bad day for bonds. I think things went downhill yesterday after a pretty poor 7-year note auction, and the UMBS 32.5% coupon dropped 36 basis points and is just sitting there on top of, as we speak this morning, of a floor support at 101.80, and not much better with the 10-year Treasury yesterday as it rose 8 basis points to 155, which is just about 5 basis points below a ceiling of resistance at 160. It's stuff we have to pay attention to, things that we have to look at. We're used to volatility. We've seen these things before. However, I always get a little bit nervous when there's a sharp move right before a holiday and a holiday weekend. And with this weekend bringing in the new year, it also adds another dimension to the situation. So it just, take a minute. It bears watching closely. We're going to get, as I'm recording this, many of you, it will already have happened by the time that you watch it, but we're going to get unemployment numbers next week. There's going to be a bunch of economic data. It's really, going to be pretty sensitive. May not amount to much of anything, but it could. So it bears watching. And as I've maintained for quite some time now, with you and with your customers, there's no reason to have large floating pipelines out there or individuals who are playing the rate game. If you like it, lock it. Let's put these things to bed, because the risk reward is really not in anybody's favor. I am going to be interested to see how the activity in the housing market works this weekend. It was kind of a mixed bag for me with my clients across the country. Some people saw a good amount of activity last week, others not so much. I do know that the trigger of the holidays being over in the beginning of the new year, and in some cases may have already started, buyers who are still hungry for houses or those who have made the commitment to engage the marketplace after the holidays were over, they're going to start showing up in force. So I believe it's going to be a very interesting first few weeks of January. Especially if we're seeing rates tick up a little bit for loans and people start to think to themselves that between rising home prices and rising mortgage rates, affordability starts to become a bigger issue. And they're right about that. But it's really important that you as a mortgage professional are not only paying attention to what's going on, but understand your market and understand the broader ramifications of the national economy. And say what can happen with rising rates and home prices. And I think it's also important that you have the conversation with your clients and your referral partners about what impacts the payment. We all know nobody gets approved for a rate. Everybody gets approved for a monthly payment. We know there are things like taxes, insurance, HOA, MI, all these different things can impact the monthly mortgage payment, and they don't get anywhere near the recognition or acknowledgement of that impact as rising rates do. And I think it's important that you spend a little bit of time counseling your client and sharing with them what impacts their payment, how that payment was calculated, and how much things really do change. And again, if you're speaking to a client directly, talk in their terms. If interest rates move up an eighth or a quarter or a 0.5%, whatever the case may be, in the market that they're looking for, in the price range or the mortgage size that they're looking for, how does that impact their payment? And in many cases, it makes a lot more sense for people to see. They can get emotionally attached to, oh my God, interest rates went up X amount percent, but it comes into real terms when the housing payment goes up $25, or they can look how an HOA fee or how homeowners insurance or any of these other things can impact their payment the same amount or more. So it's important that you're aware of what's going on with conditions. I don't want you to be panicked. I want you to be aware. control the information so that you're aware of what conversations are likely to happen, and be out front with everything that's going on. There's no reason for you to, hide what's happening. You don't control the mortgage market, just like you don't control the housing market. It is what it is. Your job is to make the process smoother for your clients and make them aware of their choices. So it is a lot to deal with the last week of 2021. Looking forward to 2022 in a big way. Want you all to have a happy and a safe New Year's weekend, whatever it is that your plans are doing. But just understand that there's a new year coming. And I think for those who have been focused on purchase business as a mainstay of their profession, 2022 is going to be very rewarding. And for those people who are not so aligned with the purchase arena, 2022 is going to present some challenges. But as always, we're here to help turn the ships around and the balance of business to a more purchase heavy mix of opportunities. And as always, it's Mike at imtcoaching.com, and we'll talk to you again next year. Take care.